Welcome, you're live on the internet. It's time for some teletext art, woo! And we might have a guest here. Maybe even a guesser. I hope you like the piano music. Hello! Is somebody there? Hello?
That one.
Haha, hello!
Is that the right input?
I can hear you now. You're live on the internet, please do not swear. Let's see. Oh, I can hear the birds in the background at your end.
Oh yeah,
Must
push the window open.
Must be nice. I bet you can hear that ambulance at my end.
No?
Nope. Well, I must have a good noise cancelling mic then, because it's pretty loud. How are you then?
Alright, not bad.
Okay. Excellent to hear. I'm gonna do a bit of live teletext editing. I'm currently streaming. Yeah. But nobody knows I'm doing this. This is wonderful background, this actually, the birds singing in the background.
I'm surprised it's picking that up, really.
I can also add some artificial bird song by playing a YouTube video in the background. Double bird song. No, that's very relaxing, yeah. It's better than the piano music that I just had going. Oh, let's see. So how's my audio? Oh. I don't know if you can hear me. Let's see. So, how are you all this evening? There's probably nobody watching right now. So I'm going to have to promote or post this link on YouTube. Hello! I can't hear you anymore, Alistair.
Oh, I'm still here.
Right.
So I found the YouTube now.
To stream. I can hear a collared dove in the background. Oh, wrong password. Let's see. I can't log into Twitter because I don't know what my password is. How brilliant. I think it's a stream of random characters. So, that's very easy to remember.
Yep, I don't know any of my passwords.
You're proud to say?
Yep.
I'll have to do it on my iPad. Let's see. This version of YouTube is going away soon. That's a pity. Yeah. Is there anybody out there?
So my question for you, Dan, is: are you using the edit TF from the block party server? And if not, why not?
Ah, good question. I'm not, and that's because I forgot. And I should be, shouldn't I, really?
You've got to get in there quick before Nikki uses all the good page numbers.
Right. So I've posted to Twitter now. Hopefully some people will see that. And join in as well. Yes, that works. Okay, the question is, what on earth to draw, as you were saying earlier, Alistair? It's a hard thing to come up with ideas for things to draw. Alistair has disappeared momentarily. Don't worry, he'll be back. Such is the nature of lockdown streams. But thankfully, we're still on the air. Let's get the live chat up, shall we, here? And see if anybody's arrived yet. Okay, we're ready to go, I think. But I have no idea what to draw, that's the only problem. If I just start filling in blocks, maybe something will happen. Sometimes that happens.
Start an entry for the block party art contest.
Yes, what is the theme?
There's a theme. Now, what was it? Red button, I think.
Red button. Okay.
The themed one.
I've done some red button themed related artwork in the past.
You've done quite a lot recently, haven't you?
Well, actually, it wasn't specifically BBC red button. It was a man pressing a button, and it was red, so that counts, I think. So what on earth could I do with regards to the red button? Something like a protest page. Save the red button. We need it in times of national crisis.
I'm not sure I want to suggest things because it'll give away all my ideas and I'll have nothing to do myself. But how about a jammy dodger?
Yes, don't give away your position. A jammy dodger. Oh yeah, because it's got a red thingy in the middle.
When I was small, I always used to call them red button biscuits.
Is that based on the BBC red button, or just because they're...
Quite a few years before that. No, I think it was more based on me jamming my thumb through the middle of my biscuits instead of eating them.
That is a fun thing to do, though, isn't it?
When you're 4 or something.
Well, when you're 34, it's still just as fun. Now let's see. This is turning into the real turn of the worm here, this picture I'm drawing. So we're going to have to make him vomit.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a dinosaur, but I think I'm going to turn him into the real turn of the worm. Or just
I get anxious when you mention worms, that's all. Yeah,
right.
for obvious reasons.
This is definitely a worm. It's nothing else.
It's a family stream, Dan.
Yeah. Did Turn of the Worm have a nose? No, he didn't really, did he? Oh, Nikki is here. Hello, Nikki. How are you this evening? Or whatever time it is where you are. See, apparently in Scotland it's tomorrow already. So you could be in Scotland. So if you have any requests for things for me to draw, then I'll happily take them, because as I was saying earlier, it's hard to think of things to draw. If somebody just randomly suggests a topic, I could quickly sketch something. An idea I had in the past, which I'm not going to do today, is 5-minute or 10-minute requests. I don't think 5 minutes is long enough to do a piece of teletext art. Not even Horsenberger can do them that quickly. But yeah, 10-minute teletext art I've done tests of in the past and realized it's quite difficult. Quite difficult to draw anything at all. Nikki says she usually takes about an hour to do a piece of teletext art. Nikki, would you like to join the stream? Do you have Discord? We have the Discord chat in the background tonight. So if anybody wants to join the Teletext Discord and listen to the wonderful bird song.
I usually take either 5 minutes or hours and hours, depending on whether I give up and do something else, because I can't think of anything to draw.
Well, I sometimes give up and then come back to that artwork months later. For example, yesterday I started on an artwork that I resumed on an artwork that I'd started well over a year ago. And I thought, oh, I forgot about that. I'm going to have to finish it. And it's pretty much finished now, but it'll stay there until such time that it's carted out, a suitable time to be carted out. Nikki says she sadly can't join, but that's okay. But if anybody else out there wants to join, I've got the Teletext Discord on the voice chat. Now this is a horrible drawing of Tana. And I wonder if we asked Mr. Biffo if he would think his drawing of the real Turn of the Worm being sick was actually horrible. We've never actually asked him what he thinks of it. How long he took to draw it. Maybe he took an hour to draw it. I don't know if you saw this, Alistair, when Biffo came back for the special anniversary edition of Digitizer, the online edition. He did an updated version of Turn of the Worm being sick of what happened to him next. And I came across that. Oh, did you see it?
No, don't know if I saw that. Well, I probably did see it and I've forgotten.
Yeah. I came across it the other day when I was looking through my files on my hard drive of other worms being sick. So how are you this evening, Nikki? Have you been doing some teletext art recently? And indeed, if anybody else out there is watching, I'd like to know if you've been doing much teletext related stuff. Mm. We actually get a lot of worms in our back garden uh, over the winter, and that inspired me to make a worm-related piece of teletext art. However, I still haven't made it. It inspired me to do something that I haven't done yet, but it's reminded me. I did sketch out an idea. Nikki says she did a very quick Jimmy Hill for Chinny, and I don't know if that's um, an innuendo. Just done a quick Jimmy Hill. Or maybe Cockney rhyming slang for, I don't know. Struggling to think of worms that rhyme with Phil. Mill, trouble at the mill, trouble at the mill. I don't know. I think the real turn of the worm might have teeth. Probably not, but I'm going to draw him with some. Just for funsies. Nah, that looks rubbish. I'm just going to make him have top teeth. Oh, Nikki has tweeted me something. I think she might have tweeted the Jimmy Hill pic. So let's have a look. I'm going to have a look. And then hopefully we can load that up for you here. It'll just take me a few minutes because I'm slow at things like this. You know, I better just put on this artwork here that it is the real turn of the worm being sick and nothing else, in case a representative of YouTube comes along and gets the wrong idea. Bah. Silk. Being sickle. Bah. There we go. Right. I'm looking at the picture, and it is a fantastic image, I've got to say. Jimmy. Just see if we can load that up for you here. Here we go. Whoops. Now that is a wonderful rendition of the Jimster. So Jimster of Hill by Nikki from Twitter. @Gentleman Nikki. Wonderful, don't you think? I think Nikki has really captured Jimmy's chin, rather, very well there. And a good job on the glasses, because glasses are quite a difficult thing to do in teletext. Often you find yourself wondering whether you should do them perfectly symmetrical or draw them as they are on a photograph. And usually they don't. Symmetrical things don't necessarily. Non-symmetrical things don't always look nice in teletext, but I think a very good job has been done in this case. So fantastic. I think.
I always find the lines end up too thick when I try to do glasses.
Yes.
Get in the way of all the other details that I've just drawn, and then I draw over them.
Well, I think what Nikki has done very well here, she's got different thicknesses of line in the same image. So the outline on the face is about 3 pixels wide, and then you've got the 1 pixel wide glasses. outlines on the glasses, and then variously other different thicknesses. So yeah, that's something you can do when you've got a zoomed in image. Thicknesses of lines, ladies and gentlemen. A quick teletext art tip. Not that I'm one to be giving you tips, considering this artwork here, which I'm sure you'll agree is an all-time classic. If anybody else wants me to add and critique their teletext art, I shall do that on stream if you want me to. Just tweet to me at Illustrate. Let's put it at the bottom here so people can tweet to me at ILLARTERATE. That's ILLARTERATE. Just center that there. So, Alistair, I don't know if you can hear me now, but if you can, how are you tonight? How are things in ZX Gesser land?
All right. Birds are singing. Nice, quiet, peaceful evening, like all evenings have been for the last couple of weeks.
Excellent. I'm glad that you've got birds at your end, because, as I said, all I could hear at my end was an ambulance going past and fire engines. So,
I did hear a noisy motorbike earlier. Must have been doing about 200 miles an hour up the road. Obviously, taking advantage of the lack of cars and policemen.
yeah, earlier on Twitter I saw a video of a Dalek going down the road, an empty, deserted road, and saying, "Stay indoors, please self-isolate," which I thought was a great video, and something that I would definitely do. Go on.
I don't know enough about how all of the settings on this mixer work. Otherwise, I could probably try and do a Dalek. No, is it? No.
That's
Somewhere. Isolate. Something like that.
oh dear, that's brilliant. Yes.
I made the mistake of installing a fancy audio mixer thing, and it's just got hundreds of little knobs to twiddle around with. I don't know what any of them are for, so you can really quickly get into a complete mess.
Well, I don't know if that was a mistake. I think that was a great idea, personally. Let's go back to the chat for a minute, which I've neglected. ZX Guesser says, who's that? Who's ZX Guesser? He says, live teletext art appraisal while you wait. Indeed. We will do that tonight. Now, as you can see here on my image of Turner, he has arms now, which is a little bit non-canon, but I'll do what I like because it's my stream. I'm sure Mr. Biffo would be very angry with me doing this, turning Biffo into a dinosaur. But as I said, what did I just say? Did I just not say Turner? Did I say something else?
Biffo.
Turning Biffo into a dinosaur. Well, we could make this a sort of Mr. Biffo Turner the One. Let's do that. Let's see here. We can give him the hairdo, the fantastic Biffo hairdo, and some suitable Mr. Biffo attire. See, just from a slip of the tongue, we've come up with a new idea for our artwork. It would be great if Mr. Biffo stumbled upon this and said, "This is awful! I hate you now, Dan. How dare you make fun of my hairdo?" But I'm not actually making fun of his hairdo because I said it was fantastic. Iconic, even. Yeah, well, taking a few liberties here with this. But then, didn't Biffo take liberties with Turner? I'm pretty sure there were quite a lot of dinosaurs in the original Turner strips, including the infamous one of two dinosaurs.
There's loads of dinosaur uh, episodes. There's one story that's weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks long. Dinosaur Planet.
Kids love dinosaurs, you see. So he must have had a directive from High, who said, the bosses at Teletext must have said, "Oh, kids love dinosaurs. You must
What
do
do the kids love today? Dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs all the time.
Dinosaurs riding motorbikes. What do kids love? Mice. They love mice. Yeah, yeah, and motorbikes from Mars. Yeah. So we'll have biker mice from Mars. Yeah, what a brilliant idea." And thus began
He
one
did
of...
a lot of just sort of giant monster stuff. Dinosaurs and fantastic monsters. There's one story called King Bong about a giant chicken.
King Bong.
King Bong, yeah, is a giant chicken. What else is there?
That's just an example of Biffo trying to sneak stuff past the censors, I think. Oh, I ran out of room.
Wongo, who's a giant snake.
Yep. Yeah, the big gorilla. Let's see, what else? What was the guy with the hypnotic eyes? Let's do a background here. New background.
Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Mystery was one story, so lots of Loch Ness Monster stuff. And then Dinosaur Planet, which from January all the way to in May, it's still the same story, Dinosaur Planet. So months of dinosaurs.
Are these examples from your own recoveries? Teletext VHS recoveries?
It's not just my recoveries. I've been working on a Turner archive, so all the people doing recoveries have been sending in details of what dates recoveries they've got and which Turner strips are in them, and gradually going through restoring them.
Excellent. So how... Go on.
I've not got any full stories yet. I'm holding off publishing anything till I've got at least one full story, I think.
That would be good.
It's not gratifying to look through it and you get 2/3 of a story and don't find out how it ends. So
yeah,
I'm holding off for a while, but there's a lot in the archive so far.
Yeah, it's a little bit like coming across Turn of the Worm in the olden days when they were actually broadcast on Teletext, the strips, and thinking, I want to see more of this now, but all you get is 4 or 5 panels.
Yeah, more next week.
Yeah, and not even Biffo knew what was going to happen next week, apparently, because he just made them up as he went along. Fantastic. Let's have a look on Twitter here.
What's interesting to me is they must have saved them, because 2 or 3 at least Christmases I've got where they've rerun stories at Christmas. In the weeks up to Christmas, they have a thing, write in which Turner story do you want to see again. Here's a list of 5 Turner strips from the last year. Which would you like to see again? And then reran them at Christmas, presumably while Biffo was on holiday. So they must have kept them in the computer for some months at least.
Yeah. Well, maybe those archives are lost now.
Well, I'm sure they're long gone.
Yeah. But we can recover them again.
And towards the end, Turner's last outing was on Teletext after Biffo had left, obviously. They put a bit on at the end of when Teletext was shutting down and things like that. But after, when did Biffo leave? 03, was it?
Somewhere about that time, yeah.
And the weekly strips carried on all the way till near the end of 2005. But it was, reruns of previous stories he'd done. Towards the end, while Biffo was still there, it was rerun. He was just recycling the stories anyway.
Yeah. Well, goodness knows how many stories he must have had in his archive.
That's good in a way because from sometime late 99 onwards, Teletext was transmitting broken page checksums, which makes it very difficult for me to restore the graphics to where I have any kind of confidence that they're accurate.
How come they did that? Did they just not notice, or was it
I
not?
think they just didn't notice. Probably changed the system, got some new equipment or something, because all of the Intel fax, so Fortel and Centext and so on, that seemingly was always broken. So the equipment or computer system they were using never worked from new, as far as I can tell. So it's possible that Teletext switched to the same
system,
supplier or inherited a bunch of Intel fax equipment or something like that.
Well, that mustn't have been so important for the broadcast because if nobody ever complained.
No, it wasn't used by TVs at all. As far as I'm aware, nothing actually ever used the checksum.
Right.
But it's very useful for restoring the pages, obviously, because I can tell whether I've got all the errors or not.
Oh, I see. Right.
So from sometime in the mid-80s, for the entire run on CFAX, there's page checksums that I can restore to. And on Oracle and Teletext, right up till, as I say, sometime in 99, minus all of the ancillary services from Intel fax, unfortunately.
Does that, as you say, does it make it a lot harder to recover stuff?
Well, the actual recovery is exactly the same. It's just data which was transmitted. The fast text.
Oh yeah.
Colours at the bottom. The packet which transmits the actual values of where each link should go. It's in packet 27. At the end of that, there's 2 bytes at the end of that, which is just 16-bit checksum.
Okay.
And that's what you might have noticed some time ago. I did an update on my editor, and it now has it just says CRC and a 4 hexadecimal digit number. And as you change anything on the page, that number will change. So when I'm restoring teletext pages, I go through all the E's that have turned into J's and things like that, fix those up and try and sort out the bits where the graphics are broken. And eventually, at some point, if I'm lucky, the the checksum there will match what was transmitted, uh, which I can see in. I run the recovery through a packet analyzer that shows me all those values, so I can then I can see whether I've got the recovery right or not.
Ah, okay.
If the numbers don't match, that just means there's still an error somewhere that I haven't found yet. So I can stare at it for another 20 minutes and try and find it.
Right. So it helps with the integrity of the restoration, basically. Right.
It proves whether the restoration's correct or not, basically.
Okay.
Um, for pages of text, news stories and so on, they're generally easy to restore because English text has a great deal of redundancy. If there's a character out of place, it's obvious to a human that it's wrong.
Right.
But in something like a Turner strip, there's hardly any text on each page. It's almost entirely graphics, and any single pixel misplaced on the page will break the checksum.
Right.
So they can be quite a challenge to find, and often it's in some of the recoveries I've been sent. They've been very good, very clean recoveries. Sometimes even having no errors at all to fix. But in some ways it's worse because you think, well, it clearly looks right, but somewhere on the page there's 1 or 2 pixels out of place, and finding those can take quite some time.
Okay. So you say you've
As I say, I'm working my way through them all.
right. So you've been sent recoveries. So people are sending you tapes, you mean, or the data?
No, the other people who are doing teletext recovery are sending me the raw data for the Turner pages.
Oh yeah. Right.
The Turner
Oh, I see.
pages, and then I'm restoring them myself in the editor.
It's a noble task, I've got to say, because I think everybody remembers Turner. People usually say, "Oh, do you remember Bamboozle?" But then they might say next, "Oh, I remember what was that comic strip with the worm thingy?" Somebody tweeted that to us actually this week.
So bright and visually interesting compared to a lot of what was on teletext. So I mean, I've recovered a full service of CFAX from 1993. I went through and did I was bored for a couple of months.
Sorry about that.
Every single page in the service.
Sorry you had to do that. You had to suffer that. So it was sorry, go on.
There you go.
So was that a lot more boring than recovering the Town of the Worm stuff?
Well, it's all news and sports results and things. It was particularly difficult because doing the sports section, because things were being updated during the tape. So
Right.
Football scores and so on. Luckily, it wasn't a Saturday afternoon, so there wasn't hundreds of them to do.
Oh, okay.
So there were a few updates.
Just a question.
That basically means going through and doing everything 4 or 5 times, once for each time they change the page.
Okay. Oh. I think the worms, or the birds farted at Alistair's end there.
Because the window was stuck, I couldn't get it closed. I should have muted first.
What was I going to ask? About the video printer. Have you come across examples of the football video printer in your recoveries? Because I was thinking about that this week. Someone mentioned it in an article that they wrote. And I went online to see what examples of the video printer. Sorry, vidi printer. It's spelt like video printer, but vidi printer.
It was CFAX, was it?
Yeah, and I think definitely towards the end they had the CFAX video printer. It's one thing that I remember, and there are only 3 examples of it on the internet that I found. I found another one this week. One is from when Man City won the Premier League in 2012, and that's the one I found this week. But the other 2 are ones that I've saved from the dim and distant past.
And was that sort of every Saturday then, or
It ran during match days, basically, when matches were on. So it would run on Tuesday and Wednesday nights as well if there were matches.
Oh, yeah, we should find plenty of that then.
Yeah. Well, mostly
Just
people. Go on.
finding tapes recorded while matches are on, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Hmm.
Mm,
There's a lot of cricket results and things. Oops.
yeah.
But they didn't
I
have
mean,
it.
as I say, they will be awkward to restore because every time the page updates, you've got to find where the update happened in the file, split the file up into separate files, and then reprocess it again, and uh, basically just go through and manually find all the changes. There's no clever piece of software to do that yet, so it's time consuming. But
Right.
it's definitely possible. I mean, you could do the same with subtitles even. It would just take the rest of your natural life.
Hmm. Somebody on the Teletext Discord, I think last week, was talking about how they can't find time. They would love to do some teletext recoveries, but um, that they wish that there was something more automated or something to make it easier for them. Because I think at the
Yeah,
moment,
the software workflow is all a bit fiddly and manual. But I hesitate to say things should be made more automate a particular workflow because everybody seems to work in a different way. I know that my workflow in particular, I have all sorts of complicated processes I go through, but it wouldn't suit somebody else if you see what I mean.
yeah, I see what you mean. I don't know if this is an exclusive that it's never been mentioned anywhere. Maybe Jason has mentioned it. I'll just briefly mention it because I don't know how far along the line he's got with it, but there's a gentleman in America who's a professional archiver, and he's been in touch with Jason regarding potentially making some changes or developing a new format to make the process of recovering the teletext stuff from tape a little bit easier. I'm not sure how far along he is with that. He might be working on it as we speak, but we haven't received any communication from the guy in maybe a couple of months. But he was very interested in that because he came across maybe some key facts stuff or something like that, or some American teletext that he was looking to recover. It was the British format teletext, the Euro format teletext, and
Yeah, the CFAX style
yeah,
uh,
and he wanted,
adapted for NTSC.
yeah, he wanted to find a way that he could more easily recover it. So I
Oh,
don't,
I didn't realise any tapes of that had been found. That's very interesting.
yeah,
Exciting even.
they're at his archive. Um, I don't know how much I can say about it, or even if I can even remember what it was about.
This is
But
why Jason tells you things because he knows that you won't actually remember the details. So you might spill the beans too early.
well, there might be an embargo on it. Who knows? Might not be able to
Well, there
talk
was
about it.
anyway until you went to your mouth.
Congratulations, Pete Fagan on
You heard it
500.
here.
Congratulations, Pete Fagan on 500 followers. By the way, sorry, it just happened. Um, we have a picture from Beeble Pete here, which I'm going to display on the stream. Let's see. It says, which teletext service is the cool private dick with ace retro tricks?
Shaft.
Oh, I noticed your tweet earlier this week about the WHO.
It's
Which,
not an original joke. It's just you've got to say it every time you see it.
yeah, I was thinking about it before bed last night. I couldn't get it out of my head. But here is Pete's artwork. Befuddle, test your TV knowledge. And that's the question. Which teletext service is the cool private dick with ace retro tricks? And the options are
Are we
T.
still doing Are we still doing teletext critique
Yeah, yeah,
reviews?
yeah. T.
Again, as you will be well aware, my main complaint about this is that the fast text colour there should be cyan, not blue.
Oh yes, of course,
Winds
because
me up.
on an actual TV, that blue might not be transmitted very well on the black background. And that's something that I actually forgot about until this year when a guy called Nathan Dane from the Teletext Discord, he started doing his pages from TFAX broadcasts, and he kindly broadcast some of my artwork on there. But I noticed when I'd done dark blue on black, the artwork didn't those parts of the artwork didn't show up very well because I'm so used to making this artwork for the internet. I forgot that when you actually view it on a real teletext TV, sometimes it can be a bit awkward.
It is a very dark colour. Um,
Yeah.
the it's not usually such a problem in graphics. It just makes it they seem to look like they're behind the screen somehow. But it really does make text completely unreadable on most televisions, which is why they basically never used blue text on without a background behind it.
Yeah. Um, it's a lesson that I've learned the hard way, but I guess the people who worked for Teletext and CFAX had their own manuals of style, which they would use and have to obey. But the good thing about the internet and the teletext revival is that we can do whatever we like, mate.
I
But
seem to remember there were some usability studies, sort of viewability guidelines of some sort, where they tested these things and found that people struggled to read the blue text on black background, which is understandable because it's so dim. So it was more or less banned on CFAX and Teletext.
yeah, I can understand why. Yeah, I guess things like combinations of magenta and lime green weren't allowed.
Green
However,
on magenta background, it's beautiful, isn't it?
yeah, but I think I've seen it actually.
Really cleans your eyeballs.
But I've seen examples of it, I'm sure, on the. Have you ever seen the cornucopia of fantastic racing pages on Channel 4, the adverts? Because
Oh, some of those are searing, aren't they?
they use all manner
Red,
of
red,
crazy.
red on a green background quite often.
Yeah, well, it stands out, doesn't it? But I don't think they had manuals of style. They just thought, whatever stands out, mate. Because,
It definitely stands out. You think, gosh, that really stands out. I've no idea what it says because I can't read it, but heck, it's very bright.
I'm going to see if I can get an example of it, if there is one quickly available on the internet. Yeah, here we go.
Yellow
Thankfully,
and green, I think I've seen a bit too, which is hard to read.
um, I think in the past I've used a variety of crazy color combinations just to see what they look like, really. Oh no. Guess what? Chrome has crashed. How wonderful.
Oh,
Oh no! That's wonderful because I'm not I'm not able to actually do any artwork. And also, I didn't save my page, so I'm going to have to go into my history and dig out that source URL. But that's the beauty of EditTF. Right. Oh, thinking ice cream van just went past. Um, I don't know if we're still actually online, ladies and gentlemen. We should be, because it doesn't require me to have the Chrome broadcasting window open to actually broadcast to YouTube, but I'm going to have to do a hard restart. No! Oh, wonderful. Let's see. I wish I could play you some background music right now, ladies and gentlemen. But I was using YouTube and Chrome has crashed completely. And you won't be able to hear Alistair, which is fantastical. Furthermore, Windows.exe, no, sorry, Explorer.exe has crashed. Oh, brilliant. So we have to restart it. Ah, poo. I think we're still online. How are you all, ladies and gentlemen, this evening? Hope you're faring well. We are still online. Let's just have a quick test while my computer revives itself. Yes, we're still online, and we can have a quick look at Beeble Pete's wonderful image. Right, close that program. And we can load it up again. Load it all up. I love the image of whoever that guy is there in Beeble Pete's image. Now all I wanted to do then was save the picture, but sadly we weren't allowed to see it. And let's have a look. Yep. We can actually get to the image. What a load of bother. We can put the image up on stream. Excuse me, the stream has just gone black for a brief second, but there we go. A maxed out Teletext page, courtesy Channel 4. Now, let's see if we can get the edit TF thingy back. Yes, there we go. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's get back into Discord, or Disco, as I like to call it. And log back into the Teletext chat room. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, anybody watching right now, please feel free to join the Teletext Discord. And I'm back in the Discord. So, hello again. I had to restart Chrome, sadly, but we're back up and running again now. All I wanted to do was save a picture of the maxed out Channel 4 racing adverts. How pesky. But we're back up and running again, and the Biffo the worm is back. We can continue. Fantastic. So let's just check the chat. Nobody has left any messages, so I'm going to continue with this wonderful image. I'll see if I can complete it in this stream of Turner. He's sort of breathing fire, except it's milk, which is quite humorous. Let's have a look quickly in the Teletext Discord. I'm streaming live on YouTube right now. Anyone want to join the voice chat? I don't know if you know, Alistair, but do many people join the Teletext voice chat? Have you had many people jumping on here?
No.
No.
No. Generally speaking, we've not used it. But if people want to, more than welcome. It's just finding times when everybody's about at the same time, really.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? I've been recording some stuff, or trying to record some stuff for the Teletext R podcast recently, and I've had to reschedule a couple of things twice due to various different issues, but that's how it goes sometimes. When you have more than one person, not more than two people, I think is the cut-off point, then it becomes difficult to schedule things if you want three or more people on a broadcast. That's my experience anyway. I've actually done streams with up to 8 to 10 people in the past, which were crazy, but fun. Um, but those were the glory days of streams. We'll never have that many people again. And they're usually on Friday nights, and it's not a Friday night. People are watching Anton Deck at the moment, so it's a bit of an inconvenient time. Let's see if we can tidy this up here. I've been messing around with held graphics a lot recently, trying to get better at doing them, trying to incorporate them into a few artworks. And they're quite fun when you can get them to work, I think. I wonder if we can get some into this artwork.
We're setting off on a path to madness, Dan.
Held graphics. Are you an expert in held or hold graphics? Would you say? Or would you prefer not to use them?
I get tempted. Everything I try and draw, I get tempted into using held graphics.
But you don't.
Some of the last 2 or 3 train pictures I've done have been really heavy use of held graphics.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't always.
Because
go on.
I feel like the more I do, the higher my standard gets. It's got to be better than the one before.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Because you think, oh, this is nowhere near as good as my last one, and then you just give up on it. But I think for some images, they suit held graphics a lot more, and others they just don't work. You've not got the room.
I think with the trains, I've been doing more modern liveries, and they have so much colour on them that if you don't use hold mosaics, you can't get the colour dense. You just end up with thick black lines everywhere, and it looks awful.
Yeah.
But if you do it solid blocks of colour, there's no detail anymore. So there's a trade-off there, certainly.
Yeah, I think held graphics certainly takes a certain skill and a bit more time than the traditional Mr. Biffo way of making things, I think. As in, so the Mr. Biffo way.
Trial and error.
Go on.
Lots of trial and error as well with the using hold. I mean, you can't get. It's easy to get too rigidly, sort of wedded to the idea you've got about where you want the colours to be, and you just end up chasing your tail, changing. You fix it in one place, it breaks somewhere else, and you just go around in circles. So at some point you have to take a step back and say, maybe if I drew it all a bit larger, or reduced it by what, got rid of one of the colours I was trying to use or something like that.
Yeah.
It's always a trade-off.
Well, I think with a lot of practice, you can become good at noticing, or I guess more adept at choosing whether to use hold or not. And a good exponent of held graphics, I think, actually, although he wouldn't say so himself, is Simon Rawls, who is actually the primary coder of the editor you're seeing right now, EditTF. And actually, on the subject of editors, the person in the room with me right now has coded his own teletext editor, which I'm not using, and I'm just conscious of that fact.
I'm just silently fuming this whole time.
Whenever I post anything in EditTF, I bet you think, oh, yeah, he's not used my editor again.
Well, when you send me links to bits of artwork to upload on chunky text or something, the first thing I do is copy the hash out and paste it into my editor. So I don't have to.
Okay. When I send you, well, when I send you stuff, I should send you it in the ZXNet editor, shouldn't I? Incidentally, guys, if you're listening,
it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the whole point of everything being compatible. That's why I stuck to a compatible system, because then people can just use what they want, can't they? So.
Yeah, incidentally, guys, if you want to use Alistair's editor, it's the ZXNet editor, and you can find that at, is it zxnet.co.uk? Is that right?
Yeah, .co.uk / teletext / editor.
Yes, and it's equally as good.
Or for a limited time only, you can go to blockparty.zxnet.co.uk for the live Block Party edition, where you can upload things straight to chunky text.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is supposed to be a little bit of a test for a potential live stream that we're going to do in the future. The Blockdown Party. Now, more astute listeners out there, viewers, might know that unfortunately the Block Party, which was scheduled for the 25th and 26th of April, has been put on hold, maybe even cancelled for this year. However, what I would like to do is host some sort of collaborative teletext editing event where we use Alistair's editor, and indeed the other fantastic editors that are available, to collaboratively make some artwork online and use the Discord chat or maybe Skype or something like that to communicate. So if anybody out there wants to join, please do, and express your interest at the usual outlets. I think Nathan Dane, I believe that's Nathan Dane, is currently in the Discord. Is that him? Is that his handle?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Nathan, whatever.
So he might be watching right now at this moment in time. Let's see. I'm going to give Turner's haircut a bit of held graphics here. But it would mean making the background black. I don't mind that because it makes it look like it's night time. So let's have some expert use of held graphics. Expert in inverted commas. Now, if only I could find it in the edit.tf menu here.
Capital H.
Capital H, thank you. Right. Yes, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. He looks like he has a Trump hairdo now. It's supposed to be Biffo, but it's more Trumpish. But I'm still going to say that it's Biffo. Does Biffo have
He's just
yellow?
been recording. Obviously, just been recording a episode of Digitizer with Paul and accidentally poured bleach over his hair.
What type of bleach? You mean bleach blonde or the
Well, yeah, because
toilet
apparently
bleach?
he's now a shocking yellow blonde.
Oh, I see what you mean. Now we should dare him to do
Either that or it's all on
our
fire
colours.
again.
Well, here we could change his hair to red. It's that ever-present teletext question. What colour should I do this person's hair? Yellow or red? And that's it, really. Apart from white.
Orange?
Orange hair, yeah.
Brown? Be a good colour for hair.
Yeah. If level 2, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you've 4,096 colours to choose from. Why limit yourself to yellow and red?
of course. That's probably what they were saying to themselves when they invented teletext, with its 7 colours and white. Wait, is it 6 colours and white? I can't remember now. Let's count them. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. It's 7 and black. Yes, 7 and black. If you count white as a colour. So I can hear some music over the back. I don't know if the funfaire's in town, which would be stupid at this point. But yeah, maybe it's a karaoke contest. At somebody's house. I don't know what they're doing karaoke contests when they could be watching me make teletext art on the internet. Fools! Make horrible teletext art on the internet at that. Oh, I'm getting an encoding overloaded message. Ooh. For the first time in the stream. Seems to have fixed itself though. So YouTube are rolling out the brand new streaming console, and well, the old one was supposed to go away at the beginning of this month, but I think they've kept it around probably because people were complaining about the new one. When I tried the new one, it was a real CPU hog. So I'm hoping that they keep the old one because it allows me to bring this broadcast to you right now. Well, I don't think this artwork is the best I've ever done, but it's an artwork. Let's see. Nathan Dane says, yes, the new streaming console is really slow on his notebook. Nathan is the wonderful director, producer, and everything else of the pages from TFAX broadcasts, which you can view on YouTube. You can view the VODs and you can view it live when he broadcasts it. I don't know when the next one is due. Nathan, when is the next one due? Do you have a plan for the next one? Because we could do a raid, we could do a Twitch raid, whenever that is. Except he's not broadcasting it on Twitch, it's on YouTube. We could do a YouTube raid. I try to comment on the pages from TFAX broadcasts whenever I can, but sometimes I miss them, Nathan. But I do think they're great. Although at the moment I guess they'd all just be related to a certain topic that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube because we get demonetized or something. In fact, because I said block down earlier, we've probably been taken off the air. Ooh. Nathan Dane says, somebody's doing the pages from TFAX thing on Twitch, so I stopped doing mine. It's planned to be brought back on special occasions. Yeah, I think, Alistair, if you're still there, you might know a little bit bit more about the Twitch broadcasts.
Well, I know it's using my viewer. That's about
Yes.
all.
You're a fantastic viewer. And, well, I think it's a great thing, but apparently it's gone down at the moment, somebody said. I think somebody brought it up. I think I read somewhere. But, yeah, please
Yeah,
don't.
it's frozen at the moment.
Oh. Why is that? Is it because the computer that's hosting it has gone down?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're running it in the built-in browser in OBS.
Right.
Was the impression I got, and whenever I've used that, that tends to fall over and break unhelpfully.
Well, it ran for a long time because occasionally I would
Having
drop.
said that, the music's stopped as well, so I don't know what the problem is.
Well, it ran perfectly for a good number of weeks there, I think, and it was great to have. The problem is, I guess, how many people were viewing it and how to promote it, how to make it so that more people are aware of it, and I guess beyond the novelty of having pages from CFAX come back, what what would be the reasons that people would come back to something like Nathan's broadcast? I'm sure there are things out there that might help, uh, such as the things that work on Twitch and Twitch for other things. I think audience participation, maybe if we can find some way to get the audience involved, then
To be honest, once you've watched the pages come round the carousel once, it's the novelty does wear off, doesn't it?
well, just a little bit. It's kind of a retro way to keep up to date with the news. Um, which we've missed for a long time, but I think beyond that, there must be some ways that we can bring the viewers back.
It's one of those things that it's comforting to know it's there, but you never actually watch it. Same as whenever they say they want to get rid of the shipping forecast on Radio 4. Millions of people write letters to say, no, you can't get rid of the shipping forecast, but do any of them ever listen to it?
I saw on YouTube a video, was it 10 hours of the shipping forecast? Something like that. It was a really long video of the shipping forecast. Some audio recordings that he'd got over the years, which I thought was a great idea.
I know I was a bit disappointed when I heard that Radio 2 had stopped doing The Organist Entertains.
All right.
But again, it wasn't something I listened to every week. Just every now and then I'd have the radio on and I'd go, oh, it's The Organist Entertains. Oh, some lovely organ music. And then promptly forget about it again for another 6 or 7 months.
It's just something to that is comforting that it's there, I suppose. Like Teletext.
Like I say, I think I was more upset to hear that it had stopped than I was ever happy that when I noticed it was on.
Yeah. Maybe there's an element of that with pages from TFAX. It's great to see it's there, but then you miss it when it goes again and you wish that you'd viewed it more or something.
I don't think I'll ever feel that way about the red button. It's just not CFAX.
Well, it's all we have at the moment to keep us updated on our television.
I've got a bewildering array of channels with teletext at my disposal.
Oh yes.
It's just I have to go downstairs and plug the Insertmatic in before I can watch any of them.
Are those actual live broadcasts from around the world, like Germany and Switzerland?
I mean TFAX and so on.
Oh, I see.
Piped into my TV.
Um, do you actually have access to foreign teletext services, Alistair?
Was that?
Do you have access to any foreign teletext services? Do you have a satellite dish?
I don't have satellite now, but I have access in the sense that people have sent me recordings off their
Right.
uh, capture cards or PVRs. So that's I've been able to extract the teletext from those to archive it.
Okay. So you do have some foreign recoveries.
Well, they're not recoveries. I mean, they're just off-air
Oh, right.
captures.
Okay.
Um, I've got quite a few. Two or three people have been sending stuff into me, and in fact, one. Let's see, where are all my files? One person sent me uh, a whole bunch of recordings, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, a couple of the teletext services shut down.
Oh.
So we were very lucky to
Hmm.
just happen that we were getting, grabbed them at that time.
That is lucky.
The uh, Nickelodeon uh, teletext, I think it was, and something else. Can't remember.
Did it have any good teletext art on there? On Nickelodeon?
Not really. The ones that shut down were there was basically nothing on them anyway.
Oh. That's a shame.
It's more that it's a snapshot in time, isn't it? That again, like how we thought all the CFAX was before the VHS recovery came along. Nobody saved any of this stuff. It's gone forever. And of course, there's not going to be any teletext recovery of current stuff because nobody's recording stuff to VHS. So
Oh, yeah.
this stuff really is gone once it's been broadcast because nobody's recording it. Recording it onto your PVR or something. You just record once you've watched the thing. You mark that you've watched it and use the hard drive space for something else.
Does the PVR not record the teletext data as well? Because when I use the pre-record function on my set-top box, it records the subtitles along with it, and I thought that the way that teletext was broadcast, you might be able to get teletext from that, perhaps.
Yeah, well, that's what all this that people have sent me, all these captures is. I've just extracted it from the stream file that gets recorded.
Oh, okay.
I think only a few of them have come from PVRs. Mostly it's people with capture cards, PC capture cards.
Oh, cool.
Have, captured it for me, but it's the same files. It's the same as what a PVR would do. But my point is that it's easier to go through and clear out your hard disk on your PVR when you've watched things.
Yeah.
If you've got several things recording on a videotape, if you want to record something long, you've got to find a suitable tape and know what's on your tapes and so on. So I think that's why a lot of people just had, the big box of tapes underneath the telly, which is why we've still got any of them.
Yeah. And if you were like me, we didn't have a lot of tapes. I had one tape, and then later on,
I had one tape.
Yeah, and then later on, I got another.
There's a tape on the shelf now. It says Alistair's tape on the tape.
Yeah. Mine says Dan's tape on it, Daniel's tape, and it's actually with Jason Robertson right now. He still has it because he's recovered some teletext from it, some old the Children's Channel broadcasts and ITV stuff, I think. I'm going to have to get round to putting that on my website or ask Jason to upload it because there is at least one good recovery of the Children's Channel there. I don't know if somebody else has got a complete children's channel since. But maybe we have a world
I
first
think we
there.
have a guest.
Yeah. Hello. I think he's just setting up his mic for the wonderful way that Discord
As
set up.
time went on towards the end of using tapes, most of the stuff is stuff I've recorded, because
Oh yeah.
I just ended up being the only person recording things really, films and stuff off the telly. But
Well,
yeah, we didn't have a huge number of tapes, and they were, they were all got recorded over. So when I get to the end of the tape, when I'm recovering stuff, there'll be sometimes 5 or 6 different little snippets of program, previous things that had been recorded over and over and over. But I know some people just used a new tape for everything, presumably people who were made of money.
yeah. Well, I made up for the fact that I only had one tape over the years by buying a load more, and actually, I need to sort through them. Under, let's see, behind my TV, I have a huge cupboard full of VHS tapes, kept for the sole reason of recovering. I have been collecting them for the purposes of recovering, but never actually got round to recovering. So I'm left in the situation now of what on earth should I do with them? Should I get rid of them, or should I keep them? Some of them are my old ones from back in the day. Some of them are newer ones. Some of them I just bought on boot sales, and they've got weird things on them. One box that I bought of VHS tapes about 10 years ago. This was before Teletext recovery, etc. It had a series of CCTV tapes in there. So we can't recover the teletext.
Have you been watching the what's on the tapes?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's cool, isn't it? What's the actual Twitch handle?
Some weird Geeky Pete.
Oh, Geeky Pete. So if anybody out there wants to find that.
He's found some odd tapes, hasn't he? Some odd recordings.
Yeah, I've seen some of them that he's posted on his account, and that's kind of an idea that I had 10 years ago. As I said, when I bought those tapes, I thought, oh, I can see what's on them. I started up this thing called the VHS Project, and there's actually a YouTube channel. It's called Batmon's Brother, which is like Batman's brother, but Batmon, M-O-N. And it's only got 2 videos up there. One of them is a small clip of a woman who claims that she went to the moon, and she recounts her trip to the moon and being probed by aliens. And another one, or the other one, is just a collection of introductions, copyright screens from the introductions of tapes. There was other stuff, but it's been unpublished over the years because it was terrible.
I was thinking at some point I need to get set up to capture video from my videotapes as well as the teletext, because there's bits and pieces that I think people probably want, like BBC Two close downs and so on.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking I want to record the intros off commercial tapes. My dad bought quite a few documentaries about aeroplanes and things like that. So, not Universal Pictures or Disney or whatever. All these weird little companies that make documentaries.
Yeah.
And they've all got their own flashy 3D rendered to the, state of the art early 90s technology, video 3D rendering technology. And I love stuff like that because it's a real, that short period in history where everything had to be flashy computer graphics because it was the new thing, but they're terrible.
Well, they're terrible by today's standards. Well, actually, maybe they're terrible by those days' standards, because I'm
They're
sure.
just cheesy.
Well, frightening as well, some of them. if you're a kid and they go, no, 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 and this big thing comes whooshing onto the
Something
screen.
rushing about. Yeah.
Ah, ah. So, well, they're fascinating to look back on now, but at the time, frightening as heck. But yeah,
And it's something I've not seen anybody doing kind of a retrospective on. Um, there's lots of people have got stuff on the web about um, the packaging used on blank VHS tapes and things like that. All the kind of
yeah.
over the top artwork and so on. But I've not seen anybody do the same thing for company video company logo type things.
Um,
And of course, there's loads of all the TV station idents and things, which are in a similar vein, really. There's loads of that on the net, but I've not seen much for home video idents, you'd call them, I suppose.
well, I've seen some collections of them, but as you said, there's not a big, I guess, community around them as there is for other things. Just pardon me one sec.
I suppose.
I'll be right back. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Hello. Hello. Sorry about that.
Oh, hello again.
I just disappeared. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I was going to say it's not like BBC or ITV regions or whatever where millions of people saw those same idents, and it's a shared cultural heritage
yeah.
because everybody bought different videos from different video companies, so the chances of you remembering the same ones that I remember is much less, I suppose.
What about? Is it Home Video Entertainment? Was that one with the red logo?
No,
No.
no.
Let's see.
Most of
BBC.
the
Go on.
several of the aeroplane ones my dad's got are from the same company, kind of a series of videos, although not not a series, but from the same. Um, I don't know how you'd
The
describe it really,
same
but
3D design company.
yeah, the same production company made them all, and they're all related in that they're all similar. The same subject. They're about aeroplanes, and they were published by DD Video, which the tape starts with this big two red italic capital D's come swooping in somehow, and they overlap each other diagonally. And there's some sort of obnoxious loud noise.
Hmm.
But who else would know what I was talking about?
Well, that's true, but you don't necessarily have to remember them to enjoy them because
You can, they're obviously 90s sort
yeah.
of.
If you uploaded
They,
that,
they you know
if you
they
uploaded
they
that,
fit in a place and time. I've not uploaded them. I've not got them off the tapes, but I have
hmm.
got the tapes downstairs.
If you did upload them, I'd be interested. I'd watch them.
Hmm.
I'm sure some people, well, quite a lot of people would be interested because it's just the openings of videos and people search for that, I think.
Mm.
So, of course, I had to include a palm tree here. Mm, yeah,
The
so,
obligatory palm
yeah.
tree.
So it's, yeah, like I said, it's not necessarily that you have to remember the intro because a lot of them are just a lot of fun to see on their own. And, uh,
Oh, and also they're so uh, evocative of that time, that style of design, that probably people who've never seen them before will remember them in the same way as they remember CFAX holidays. It's you look at it and go, oh yeah, the 90s. I definitely remember this thing you're showing me.
Yeah. So quite often I've deliberately looked on YouTube for those retro 3D graphics because I get a kick out of viewing them. And actually, once I was just browsing YouTube. I might have been searching for my own stuff for one reason or other, vanity searching. And I noticed that somebody had done a remix of one of my videos, one of my Teletext videos, and they'd mashed up this thing that I did called Teleglitcher, which was just a bunch of Teletext graphics scrolling by really quickly in really low resolution by today's standards. But they'd taken it and mashed it up with some old 80s 3D chess graphics, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, and it inspired me to do this short series of teletext pictures called Chess Today, as in chess plus yesterday, for the block party in 2017 or 16. And unfortunately, that video has been taken down now. I don't know why, but it inspired me to do that. So somebody else is in the voice chat at the moment, but I don't think they can connect for one reason or other. I don't know if he's been talking to us and we can't hear him. I don't know if he can hear us at all right now. Oh, hello? Who's there? Oops. Can you hear me? Oh, sadly we can't hear you, Mr. New Entrant. I don't want to spoil who it is. See, I don't know if the held graphics are a bit jarring there. Nah, they look fine. I'm using them. Hold on a minute. I could do this. Ha ha ha. I want to make it so the palm tree has eyes and a mouth. But it's not too obvious at the moment. Let's see how many viewers we have. Hello to everybody out there who's watching currently. It says 0 people, but that's wrong because I'm watching. I'm watching myself. Ooh.
So, can you explain the cloud or plane, or is it a bird?
It's some sort of creature flying by. I don't know what
Was
it
it a
is.
cloud when you started and then you added more stuff?
Well, it was supposed to be a bird, but I turned it into
Right.
a weird creature from Turner Land.
This is the trouble with watching artwork as it's drawn. Like, you get some notion of what it is that's being drawn, and it's stuck in your head, and you can't see anything else.
What did you think it was? A bird?
Well, having said that, even though I saw you draw the tree and I knew it was a tree, it now looks like some kind of crab creature that's hovering in space, trying to pick up the tree
Yeah,
with
one of
its
those,
weird dangly arms.
it looks like one of those claw machines that you get at the arcade that you can never win on.
Or the big red things from Tron.
Oh, it's been ages since I've seen Tron. Yeah.
There was
Hmm.
a Spectrum game with that had a similar thing, a 3D um, wireframe graphic. Although that might just have been on the that was probably just on the cassette box actually.
Pardon me, I just have an advertisement for some helicopter game. Uh, all I wanted was bird song in the background. But what I got was some sort of war helicopter game. So yeah, this is the perfect background music for this situation that's going on here with Town of the Worm. There we go. Right, let's see if we've had any messages on Twitter. As you listen to the bird song, oh, I've been followed by Uncyclopedia. I don't know if you've heard of Uncyclopedia, but I used to contribute years ago. So I don't know how they've found me. Hmm. I got a message then, but it wasn't related to the stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join us on the 25th of April, that's a provisional date. We're just trying to figure out whether it's suitable. But possibly in the afternoon of the 25th of April, we're going to hold the Blockdown Party, which is a replacement or a stopgap, shall we say, for the Block Party, which has unfortunately been postponed for the time being. However, on the same weekend, when it was supposed to be, we're hoping to do this Blockdown live stream gathering thingy and all join via Skype or some sort of similar online service and make some teletext art, make some teletext pages. There is actually a theme for the block party, I've been told. It was the red button, and I was supposed to do a red button artwork here, but I forgot. And
It's
it's
only an optional. It's a side contest, I think.
yeah, the competition.
It's,
Did you enter the competition last time in Wigan? Oh, no, that wasn't last time, but in Wigan, did you enter the competition? Uh,
I can't remember if I drew anything in 2018.
was there a block party in 2019? No, there wasn't, was there? It was
No,
Digifest.
only the chunky fringe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I don't remember drawing anything for Wigan, but I was busy building the Insertomatic, so
What, during the
I think
weekend?
I spent all the time setting up the uh, the edit server and so on, and didn't actually draw anything on it. But I'll try and do something this year if I can find some inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration is the most important thing to try and get from somewhere, to try and dredge up from the recesses of your mind. Because often I just sit down and think, let's do some teletext art. But what on earth am I going to do? I don't know. Which is why when I sometimes come up with ideas, I draw them on my iPad, a sketch version, a rubbish version that I can come back to later. But even when I do that, I think, nah, I can't be bothered doing that now. So it's not totally infallible. I'm just caught on drawing grass at the moment, but I need to find some way to finish this off. Hmm. Oh, thank you very much to the new subscriber, Mr. Chris Hills. I don't know if you're watching at the moment, but thank you very much. Hey, you get a thumbs up from me. If this were Twitch, you'd get a cool on-screen graphic thingy. But because it isn't, and I'm not prepared, unfortunately you don't at this moment in time. Let's see here. So our guest is having some problems joining us, trying to get his mic to work, I think. And I've actually forgotten how I've got mine to work. I think I just messed around with things until it worked. We did actually record, I think, 2 episodes of the Teletext R podcast via Discord a couple of weeks ago. And it turned out quite well, I think, except for the fact there was some lag. But then, if you compare it to an alternative called House Party, that didn't turn out very well. The most recent one, the most recent Teletext R podcast that we did, the April Fool's one, was done with House Party. But I think we're going to go back to Discord for the next one. Let's see, what did we use before that? You know, I can't remember. I think it was Skype. Oh no, it was Google Hangouts. The wonderful Google Hangouts, which is no longer supported.
I never know whether what Google are doing with Hangouts. They keep saying they're going to kill it and then not doing. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can still do voice chats or not.
I think so, yeah, you can.
Text.
Maybe they've delayed getting rid of it in light of current world events. It keeps saying encoding overloaded, sorry. So hopefully the stream isn't awkward. Sorry, go on. I interrupted myself there, I think. Why is the encoding overloaded? Let's close some things.
Now it looks less like a cloud.
I tell you what, I'll just quickly draw this cloud, and then, would you like to have a go at Wikitelefax? Or Mutley? Let's see here. There we are. Wikitelefax by Peter Kwan. But I'll just finish this cloud and call this done for now. Well, it's not really a cloud, it'll be a series of clouds. Still overloaded. Let's see.
Are you going to submit that delightful artwork to Chunky Text?
I shall indeed. Right. So the bird song has gone. I don't know if it was the bird song causing me to overload and slow the stream down. Maybe the stream wasn't slowed down at all, and it was just lying to me. OBS. I hope that's the case, because it's still saying that it's overloaded. So apologies if there are some buffering issues. Oh, what was that? That noise could have been our special guest. I think we
Hear
might
us
have.
now? No.
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
I've got it to work at last.
Ah, wonderful. How much messing around did it take to get it working?
A lot. Turn the gain up something wild in this mic, so it's probably very hissy. I can't hear what it sounds like.
No, it's not hissy. It's fine.
It's
It's totally fine. So, did it take longer for
oh,
you to
okay.
set up than, oh, I don't know, pages from TFAX? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the gentleman we've been talking about earlier. It's Mr. Nathan Dane. Is that right?
Yeah, that's myself. Yeah.
Hello. So, I really like pages from TFAX. I don't know if you were listening earlier when we were talking about it, but I enjoyed that when you had that up and running, and I look forward to it being on again in the future, it being broadcast again.
I was gonna do a special broadcast for the Black Party, but
Oh,
obviously that's not happening now. So
maybe
um,
you could do a
don't
special
know
broad.
when it'll next appear.
Right. Maybe you could do something for the Blockdown Party stream that we're tentatively planning. We'd love to see it for that.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Get a connection up.
Yeah. I guess it depends if you're available that afternoon.
It depends on whether the internet's working that day or not.
Are you having internet problems?
It can be a bit slow here at times.
Right. Has that affected the pages from TFX broadcasts at all?
Right?
Sorry, has that affected the pages from TFX broadcasts at all? The slow internet? Because it seemed to run smoothly when I've watched it.
And that usually comes from Belfast, where a faster connection there.
Oh, right.
But I'm at home at the minute,
Okay.
so it's slow. Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Um,
seemed perfectly smooth.
so,
Sorry. Yeah, it has seemed perfectly smooth when I've watched it. No issues with lag. So have you had much feedback for the pages from TFX broadcast?
I
Oh, oh no, something happened. I think maybe a wire came loose.
Some
Or some,
sort of calamity.
yeah. Oh, he's joining again. Hmm. Hello?
did that have you turned.
Hello, you're back again, but I think
I
you're.
can get the view stat.
Oh, oh, that would be good. Um, I'm just quickly trying to finish the sky here in haphazard fashion. And then I'm going to call it finished because I've worked on this nonsense enough. But then some of the best artwork sometimes comes out of just, well, typing nonsense basically. Just entering nonsense into the teletext page and seeing what happens. I can't tell you how many artworks I've done with that method. Oh, don't tell anybody, I'm supposed to be a professional, but yeah. Just start entering things into the screen and see what happens. A top tip for you budding teletext artists out there. As I mentioned, I would like
I
to do.
have the
Oh,
stats from the video here.
oh, cool.
Uh, Sorry, you go ahead though.
No, no, it wasn't important what I was going to say. I was probably going to repeat something I
The
said
most
earlier.
recent, yeah, the most recent video that I done live, the last one, which was February 18th,
Hmm.
has 217 views and 5 likes. So um, the first one I ever did was sitting about 258.
That's
It got a
pretty
lot
good.
more because it was shared in CFAX, but on the Facebook group rather. Um, After that, yeah, it done all right. It doesn't. It's not bad, but the videos got unlisted after they went live, but
Hmm.
they are all in a playlist somewhere. So people who want to watch back, old broadcasts can watch back through the playlists.
That's excellent. What was I going to say? I've forgotten. uh, yeah, 200 and odd views per episode is pretty good. That's way more than I've had on pretty much all of my videos on my channel. So I'd say that's some good work. There is a small audience for it. I think that's even more than the Teletext R podcast gets. Well, it's about the same as what the Teletext R podcast gets per listener.
I forgot live all at once. Watching it actually live was only like 6 or 7 maybe, unless I shared it somewhere and then I got a few more. But
I think that's still pretty
it
good.
was never a huge viewer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think that's still pretty good, considering that uh, it sort of depends on you coming across the stream when it's being broadcast live, and 6 is not bad. If it gets tweeted out on Twitter and on the Facebook group, I presume it gets a few more views. Hello? But yeah, I think that's pretty good, especially compared to the being narcissistic here compared to the stuff that I do. And I know that's no indication of how good your YouTube channel is, but it's all I can compare it to. So I don't know if Nathan's audio has dropped out again, but
It does keep dropping out and miss out wee bits of sentences and things.
well, we can mostly hear what you're
If you
saying.
don't,
We can.
if you ask a if you ask me a question and I don't answer, there's a good chance that I've missed it for some reason.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
It happens.
Okay, excellent. Um, so yeah, the pages from. So you say you've stopped doing them for the time being due to the automated pages from TFX thingy that somebody else is doing. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say that's a replacement, but I think it is quite cool that somebody's set up the automated one. I don't know how many views they
Oh
get.
yeah. Well, I have seen. Last time I checked, it was sitting about the 200-300 mark, but that was a while ago. Theirs is a lot sharper than mine because mine was through an early capture card. Um, Tended to be a bit fuzzy, but then again, reminds you the retro aspect of it.
Yeah, I think that's what's good
It's
about
more real.
your that's what's good about your broadcast, that it is authentic retro. It's the actual the hardware.
It's from a rail decoder.
It looks like the real thing, just exactly the same to me.
Yeah, and that's what's fantastic about it, to actually see the pages in the intended format. There's something fascinating about that. I think since the beginning of my teletext art stuff, I've always wanted to but sort of make stuff for television rather than for the internet. So it's good to actually see the two melded, I guess, and we've got a TV broadcast on the internet, and it actually looks like a genuine Pages from CFAX broadcast. Okay, so I think the Mr. Biffo, the Worm edition, is done. I have no idea why I persevered so long with that, because it's awful. But I'm going to bookmark that for now. And just before we finish up tonight, I think it would be fun. I don't know if you guys would want to help out, but I'm just going to demo Peter Quan's Wikitelfax, aka Muttley, named after the Dick Dastardly character, the Dastardly character from the olden days of television. If I could get the window capture to work correctly. There we go. We can see Wikitelfax. Now, this is wonderful for one reason, and that is the fact that we can collaboratively work on pages. And hopefully we can use this during the lockdown party in a few weeks. Now, the reason I'm showing this here is because I want to test it to see if it works, and also because it's criminally underused on the internet. So I don't know if you guys want to help by joining in, and actually people out there in Teletext land can join in with the madness. So let's pick a page here. What's a random one? 333 maybe? Whoops, I messed up already. 333. Is something going to load on page 333? Is anything going to load at all? Let's try a different number. What's in the 100s? I think we're having some issues here accessing Wikitelfax. So we'll just do a refresh. But yeah, this was a system that was debuted at the Block Party in Wigan a couple of years ago. And I would say it's a fantastic addition to the Teletext editors family, the editor family. But it's not loading right now, which is why you see a brown box.
I was just going to say it won't load for me.
It seems to have completely broken to me.
The moment when we need it, it goes down. Maybe it's being updated or something. Maybe we could message Peter and see what's going on. We'll just give it a few minutes and see if it's okay. In the meantime, we can carry on looking at this wonderful betting page from the old Teletext service. Betting Association, the hottest service in town. Look, everything's in capital letters, and we've got some double height. We've got examples of every bit of teletext formatting and lettering that you could have. Teletext typography. We've got single height, double height, backgrounded graphics. We've got pixel lettering with different colors. I'll read it out for you
Some
here.
genuine recovery error as well.
Oh yeah, not been fixed. I think, is this one from Jason Robertson? Looks like it might be. But
Getting paid for product placement.
I think getting paid per pixel at this rate. But there are two different numbers. It gives two different numbers. You know, if I had my Skype account ran out, but I could phone that number and see what it is now. If I had my Skype account, I'm gonna have to renew it. But I often wonder what these things are now, if they're still betting hotlines or what have you. So I don't know what that says. I don't know if
Most
it
of them
says.
are scams.
Sorry?
Most of them end up being scams now.
Scam phone numbers.
Yeah.
That would be fun because then we could prank them. Prank the scammers. Yeah, it's just not loading, is it? Xenox. At the moment we need it the most. It fails. So once I was doing Teletext workshop, excuse me, my drinks disappeared. So once I was doing a Teletext workshop with some kids in Wigan, and I took my block television in, specially to show some teletext, some recovered teletext pages on TFAX. This was approximately 5 years ago at the start of TFAX, and I let the kids experience teletext for the first time, and they could punch in the numbers, but they brought up one of these advertisement pages. Actually, no, it was the missing persons hotline page, and they said, "What would happen if you phoned that?" And they all got their phones out and started typing it in. And I said, "Well, probably nothing now because it'll have gone down now. Over the years, it'll have fallen out of use." And then they all put their phones away because I could have got in trouble with the police there if they all phoned the missing persons hotline, if it was still the missing persons number. So that was fun, and I'm glad that I wasn't arrested that day. Excellent. So I don't know why WikiTelefax is still refusing to work. So maybe we'll have to leave that for another time. But I'm going to stick around for another 5 or 10 minutes here with you guys. I hope you've had fun. How long have we been streaming? Over 2 hours now. So I hope you've had some fun with the guests that we've had on tonight. Our teletext experts. Different types of experts, actually. Alistair is an expert in recovery and coding his teletext editor. And Nathan is an expert in broadcast. Is that right, Nathan? Oh, I guess you wouldn't say that yourself, but you're interested in. I guess you would say you're interested in broadcasting. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Expert is passionate about that.
what sort of broadcast projects have you done apart from the pages from TFAX broadcast?
Sorry, was that?
What other
Sorry.
what broadcast projects have you done other than pages from TFAX?
The other thing, well, obviously there's the Envision decoder. Built that for that, obviously, but we do live streaming for events and things.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
for churches and stuff. Even out here at the minute with the coronavirus thing. Oh, hang on, we're not allowed to mention that.
Yes.
Sorry.
So I bet you're in demand at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, we'll be busy tomorrow.
Let's see if we can. Do you have a picture of the whatchamacallit, your inserter somewhere online, your decoder that we can put on the stream?
But the decoder,
Yeah, that we could perhaps put up on the stream while we're talking
I have
about
it
it.
here. Sitting. It might take me a wee minute to hook
Oh,
it out
okay.
here, but it is in. I have it somewhere.
Mm. See, I don't know what's wrong with Wikitelefax. I think we might just have to leave that, like I said, for tonight. But it would be good to actually give that program its own stream in the future. It's hard to say when exactly that might be. It might just be in the daytime during the week when hardly anybody else watches. Let's see, we've not had any more messages here. But if anybody's watching on the VOD, thank you. Thank you for watching this far. Ba-ba-ba-bum. I think we are still online. It's not accidentally gone down in all the tech problems we've had tonight. Pardon me. Right. Yes, no more comments. But I'd like to thank everybody who has commented tonight, which is Nathan himself, Alistair, and Nikki of the Teletext Art fame, who you can get on Twitter at Gentleman Nikki. She sent us the Chinny Hill artwork, or the Jimmy Hill artwork earlier, which I'm going to put back up on the screen for now. There he is. The Jimster himself, the wonderful Jimmy Hill. Actually, probably nobody ever called him the Jimster. There we go. He's the correct size now.
Sure, that's the Envision decoder, the new circuit board in production at the moment.
Thank you.
So I've got most of the parts on it, all the main chips and things, but all the crystals have yet to arrive, so that's still ongoing in testing at the moment.
There we go. That's the device itself. So, am I right in saying that you're going to make this commercially available? Or just available for people who want it?
I'm planning to make a few kits available if people want to try and build one up. I have a few spare circuit boards here, but this one that I'm making at the minute, that's the main prototype, so the circuit board might need to be changed by then. We'll have to see.
So, I think you left a message with us for one of the Teletext R podcasts about what it might be used for, etc. But what I was thinking of using one for, it would be useful for me to project teletext, for example, at an art gallery. It's just, I think it's better to see it in its native form, I guess, because it's a little bit fiddly trying to find a way to broadcast TFX, but I think, is it true that with something like this, we'd be able to do that? We'd be able to project teletext?
Yeah, you can. It's just an ordinary composite video output. So you just plug a Raspberry Pi into the input as usual, and then connect your projector up to the output, and you get the Envision text on your projector screen.
Okay. Do you need a special cable for that, or is it just a regular?
Just a standard composite video cable. And one of the things I wanted to make sure is that the board can be completely standalone. So the three buttons along the bottom that allow you to select the page number.
Okay.
Obviously, the idea is that you can add remote or whatever, but you can also control it just from the board itself if you don't want to bother with any of that stuff.
So those three things at the bottom left are buttons that you can press. Down, enter, and up.
Yeah.
What are the three
Yeah.
LEDs for in the bottom right?
One's just a power indicator. The other the center, I think center one. Let me see. Yeah, center one lights up when there's a valid teletext signal, and the yellow one lights up if there's a valid sync. So you can plug in a video signal, and the yellow will light up, but only the green will only light up if there's also teletext on the signal.
Oh, cool. I'm sure that'll be fantastic when it's done. So you've got the NMS logo printed on there, or is that something? That's not something you added
Yeah,
in
you couldn't
Photoshop, is
do
it?
without that. No, no, that's actually on there.
Sorry, so that is
Have
actually
my
on there,
five.
or is that
Yeah.
photoshopped? Right. Okay. um, so what else can it do? Is that have I explained it very well, or is there anything else that it could do that you could use it for?
Oh, you could actually use it. Like I was thinking, you see the likes of amateur TV operators. I was thinking if you had a repeater or something, you could actually use one of these to transmit your call sign because you can program into the chip itself a page and you can design it just like teletext, but have it output that all the time. So you could use it nearly like a test pattern generator if you were, an operator like that, or you could make. I was actually thinking you could make a very cool editor with it because the chip allows you to show a cursor. So if you could, hook the Arduino up some way to your computer, you could actually edit pages with it on an actual display chip.
Oh, okay. So is
But
there any?
I've not tried any of those.
Okay. Maybe there's a way that we could code one, or we could adapt something like the ZXNet editor, or one of the many editors that we've got for that. That'd be a cool project. Well, I'm saying that. I have no idea how you'd do it, and I wouldn't want to put pressure on anybody, but yeah, that would be cool to see. Let's just leave it at that. Because I'm sure Alistair is seething over there. I'm sure he's pleased that I've just mentioned his editor, though. So excellent. Um, so is there anything else that you guys want to say? Because I think I'm going to call it a night there. Nope.
Keep it blocky.
Keep it blocky, yes. Have you been listening to the podcast, Alistair?
Yes, yeah.
Oh. What did you think of? We've had a guest editor in for the last episode of the Teletext R podcast. It was a little bit quirkier than usual. What did you think?
Yeah, I noticed it was a quirky's a good word, yeah.
Yeah, for
Or a
the
bit
for the
max headroom-ish.
yeah. Well, it was supposed to be sort of an April Fool because about 2 minutes in, apropos of nothing, all of a sudden the audio starts to skip, and you think, "Oh, what happened there?" But that's sort of part of the April Fool joke. I thought it was great, but the whole thing was supposed to be a big April Fool's joke. But if people like that editing style, we can get them in again. Yes. So, if you have nothing else to plug, if you guys haven't got anything else to plug, or do you?
Just blockparty.co.uk again.
Hold on a minute. There's a blockparty.co.uk now. Is there?
Sorry, blockparty.zxnow.com. This is what happens with trying to talk and read Facebook at the same
Oh,
time.
okay. No, that was a genuine question because somebody posted this on the TFAX group, the TFAX Facebook group. There isn't actually a tfax.co.uk yet, but maybe there should be because it would.
I thought thought Peter said somebody owned it and asked him if he wanted to buy it, but was asking for a stupid amount of money.
Hmm. Let's have a
and
look.
they said no, basically.
What about tfax dot?
Might be
tfax.
tfax.com actually, can't remember.
Yeah, this domain is available on GoDaddy Auctions. That's tfax.com. And I don't type in tfax.co.uk in case some nasty things come up. No, there's nothing there, and there's not even some nasty company squatting there. So we could probably buy tfax.co.uk.
That doesn't mean it is. Doesn't mean it hasn't been registered though. Just means that nobody's running a server on it.
We could try buying it, see what happens. Right. So I believe that's it for now, for tonight. Today is the 4th of the 4th, 2020. Is that a palindromic date? No, it isn't. What sort of date? 0404 2020. Every other digit is a 0. So that's cool. No, that's wrong. Never mind. It's just a satisfying date, 0404 2020. So we thank you for joining us here, and thank you very much, the guests, my guests, Alistair and Nathan. Cheers! Wait a minute. I have to load up the YouTube console again to stop the stream. Oh, it's brilliant, the new YouTube console, isn't it?